Connect Up for Google Calendar is a free software plugin that can automatically sync AppointmentPlus appointments and reserved times to Google Calendar and sync Google events to your AppointmentPlus schedule. This tutorial will walk you through the process of activating the plugin for your users, connecting to your Google Calendar, configuring your sync settings, and starting the initial sync. Let's start by activating the plugin through your AppointmentPlus account. Note that this step can only be completed by users with the Headquarters Administrator access type. Click on the Marketplace, then select Enable under Connect Up for Google Calendar. On the next screen, select at least one location in your account with which you want to use the plugin. Note that the term location might be different in your account depending on the setup. Click on the Enable button, then select OK when the system asks you if you're sure, and that's it. Now any user with administrative access can activate the plugin for other users. This can be done by clicking on the Settings tab from the Connect Up for Google Calendar page of the Marketplace. Select your users from the drop-down list, then click the Update Settings button. Note that the plugin can also be enabled and disabled when viewing the entire list of users in your account. Connecting to Google through your AppointmentPlus account is a two-step process that can only be completed once the plugin is enabled. For privacy reasons, users can only connect to Google through their own AppointmentPlus profile and cannot view the Google account information of other users. Sign into your AppointmentPlus account, then click on the Staff Members tab. Note that this tab might be different in your account depending on what you're scheduling. Next, select your profile, then click on the Connect Up for Google Calendar link to the left side of the page. When the settings page appears, click on Connect to Google, then follow the prompts to sign into your account. Google may ask you for permission to access the system with your Google Calendar. Click Accept in order to continue with configuring your sync settings. Once you've connected to Google through AppointmentPlus, your settings page will list the name and access role of each Google Calendar you can sync with. Click the bullet next to the calendar you wish to sync with, then scroll down to configure your personal sync settings. Note that it's only possible to sync with one Google Calendar at a time, and you'll need to be the owner of the calendar to sync with it. In the personal sync settings, enter an email address you'd like to use for automated notifications. If there are any errors when attempting to sync, notifications will be sent to this address. Choose the one- or two-way calendar sync option from the Google Sync Activity section. You can choose to sync your AppointmentPlus appointments and reserve times to your Google Calendar with the one-way sync option. When you choose the two-way sync option, the events you create through Google Calendar will also sync to your AppointmentPlus schedule. Choose whether or not to sync AppointmentPlus reserve times to Google Calendar. When set to yes, your reserve times will show as events in Google. The last setting will allow the details of your Google events to be imported into your AppointmentPlus schedule when using the two-way sync option. When set to yes, the details of your Google events will show in the reserve time reason box when they sync to AppointmentPlus. That's all there is to it. Don't forget to click on the Update Plugin Settings button at the bottom of the screen once you're done. Once you've finished the initial setup of the plugin, all the future items you add and update will sync automatically. To perform an initial sync, click the Sync Calendars Now button at the top of the Sync Settings page. This will force a one-time sync of any upcoming items that already exist on your calendars. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this plugin, don't hesitate to contact us.